Okay, let's start playing with this kick drum now and see what happens. Kind of debating which way to go here. I don't know if I want to trigger it or to go with the real thing. By using the real kick, one great advantage is it is real, it is natural. And even if we process the living crap out of it, we know that it's real. And so if we're trying to avoid some kind of robotic sound where all the velocities are the same and the whole machine gun type of thing, it can be advantageous to have a real kick in there. And particularly these fast punk type drummers, sometimes it's hard to get that kick to be, just kind of galloping just right. I don't know if we gallop on this particular song or not, but so let's go ahead and use the real kick and see what happens. All right, now obviously we're keeping the overheads in there, and at this point they sound a little bit thin and probably need to go down in level just a little bit because they're kind of obnoxious, and that's no big deal. Let's turn those down, say 3 decibels or so we can work on this kick drum. And when I listen to that kick right now, I don't hate it. There's nothing about it as is, and it's a very dry, there's no room or anything, which we'll have to invent all that stuff later. But it's for being one-dimensional, it's very usable. More like what's that damn Jack Black guy? What's one? Well, whatever. more of a throwback kick. Let's call it that. This would be awesome in a 70s-ish song. That's not exactly what we're doing, so let's look and see what we can do to improve this. But as is, I don't think this is a bad sounding instrument. It's not right for the project at hand, but And the first thing we want to avoid is compression. Compression will do us no good on this particular track, and I'll tell you why. For one, compression likes to mush things up, unless you use a slow attack to let that, itty-bitty transient spike right there through. But the only problem with that is we could say, okay, we'll use a slow attack, but then this little guy, when he goes bum-bum, we may get the compressor to ignore, whoops, wrong button. We may get the compressor to ignore this little guy, but by then he'll crush that one. So that's pretty much out. But what we do have is a transient designer. So let's go with that route. Now I'm using the official real deal transient designer, which, whatever. I don't know if it does anything real or deal, but they've got a million of these out. I know there are free ones out there. Alloy, but from Isotope has it for sure. So if you don't have something like this, get something like this. And what you can see is I've got 3 knobs. One's just an output level. One adds or takes away attack. One adds or takes away sustain. Pretty straightforward. And it's a very intuitive way of working. So definitely check this out. Like, I want less sustain on this kick drum. Okay, George. And so we just turn it down. Okay, and I do want more smack on this kick drum. I already know. And let's see. We'll use this, since this plugin's already open, let's just see if more attack does it. Sometimes it does. Okay, now I'm hearing a little something. I don't even know the right word. It might be too much 200. There's not enough deep stuff. Although we got to be be careful with that because it can get real tricky. And I don't really know what frequency I'm hearing. I could probably sweep and find it, but I figure I'll let you guys eyeball it here since this is a video. Whoops. Okay. And then we're using the Voxenko span. This is great for visualizing so you can find problems by looking at them. Doesn't always work, but for what we're doing. But let's just see if we can gain anything by looking at this deal. Yeah, what we're hearing is a lot of that between 1 and 200 hertz. That stuff's not really of any value here in punk rock land. You hear stories about these dudes that'll take out, 50 decibels at 200 hertz. I have no idea what kind of cues, widths they're using on their equalizers, but I know that won't be helpful whenever the bass is in there to have this 1 to 200 hertz type stuff. So I'm just going to start at 200 or so, and we'll start yanking it down and see if that makes it sound cool. And that ain't half bad. We could totally use that in a song. It would work. We've got some. Well, hang on. Let me see if that bleed is from the kick or otherwise. Let's see. We do have our pretty bus open still. Oh yeah, bleed's well in check here. So we have nothing to worry about there. So we can add more high-end snap to that, and I think I will. So let's go back to our kick here and see. So none of this is real complicated. All I'm doing is finding something I didn't like, which we could have just swept through. I use Span, but whatever. Mostly for video purposes. In real life, I rarely fire up those video gadgets unless I'm trying to learn something. But okay, so I just swept to find out where Mr. Clickaroo is, and there's always some hidden clickaroo if the drum has any click at all. And in this particular case, it's 6K. A lot of guys struggle with this whole adding definition to the kick drum business, and for me, it's never really been all that difficult. I mean, compared to all my other mountains of problems, I just use a really wide cue and swept through until I found the good spot. Now I'll pull it down to reasonable levels. Let's just see. And I find that these things like to work in octaves, so we're at about 6K now, 5K, something like that. So most likely there's something good at 10K as well. Let's find it. Yep. And usually there's one octave below 5K, so about 2.5, we'll see. And it's all what we're looking for, you know. There's a lot of different kick drum sounds, and we got the death metal would be really 10, 12K heavy. I don't really know. Everything uses a little bit of 5K, and then the 2.5K is useful for I don't know what. It's its own sound, and we could interplay with all of these, but generally speaking, I mean, I'm just kind of cranked up the top end. We probably could have just used an incredibly wide green one here, you know, like something like, whoop, well, more like whatever. You know what I mean? There's just not a whole lot of science to it, in my opinion, but listen to it. We got quite a bit of attack now. And I don't think I want to, but my headphones aren't great for checking the subwoofer stuff. Headphones aren't great for much anything, but we could always add, you know, some 40 or 30 down there if we wanted to add a little more girth to the thing. And that gets a little bit too sustainy, a little bit more mushy, but we have that option, and so I don't know. But being a rock song, I don't really care too much about 40 hertz. If this was a dance music song, then it'd be 46, it'd be cranked most likely, assuming we didn't have it already in our kick drum. So the kick drum doesn't need a whole lot of stuff, it looks like, if we want to keep it natural. But in this next video, let's go ahead and fake it. We'll go with full-blown trigger, and we'll have both options, and we can kind of play and figure out what's best for us in this particular situation. Rawr.